Hello everyone, welcome to another tutorial video. My name is William Juma. In this video, I would like us to talk about how to build a drag and drop file uploader using Laravel Livewire. So let us go ahead and create a component. I'm going to run the command php artisan make livewire drag drop. So the name of our component is going to be drag drop. Now you hit enter for it to be able to create for us our new component. Our component is successfully created. I would like to go ahead and create a route for that specific component that you have created. So below here, I would just like to copy whatever it is that you have here. I want us to have a new route that we are going to call drag-drop. And then the class, the Livewire class that you'll be attached to is a drag drop class. Then of course above here we will we will use up Livewire and then drag drop. After that, we can be able to visit our component here by just having / drag drop and then see how that component displays. And of course, pretty much you can see there's nothing fancy of whatever it is that we have here. But what I want us to go ahead and do is to go inside our view, in this case, resources, views, Livewire. Then I want us to open the drag and drop component. So we can say drag and drop, the title, drag drop file uploader. I want us to have a card which we will be using to upload our files. So I'm going to create a div. I'm going to give it a class of card. And then inside here, I want us to have a div with a class card body. And then inside here, I want us to have an SVG of an uploader, and also we can have a title here. So let us have a h4 title. And inside here, what I want us to have is drag drop files here to upload. I'm just trying to create something very simple, because if I put a lot of my time into the design, we might be able to, it might take us a long while for us to be able to do that. I want us to have a div here to just put whatever it is that I have here inside a div, because I would want to just quickly center it. So I'm going to just paste this inside here. And then I also want us to have an SVG here of an uploader. So I have opened Bootstrap, getbootstrap.com, and I've clicked on icons. And what I want us to have is an upload icon. So in this case, I will type here, upload, and then we are going to pick any, maybe this one here. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to include it as a Bootstrap icon. I'm just going to copy it as an SVG and paste it here. And then for purposes of centering, probably I can be able to give it a style. It would have been better if I gave it a class, but I just do it like this. So we can give it a style of a text align. You can say center. And so if I'm to refresh, our card looks something like this. So we will drop files inside this card, whatever it is that we have this card here. And then that is where the files will be uploaded. I would like to make our icon a little bit bigger, because currently I do not know the height and width. Yes, it's set to 16. Let me just put 90. Let us just have it like that. Just want it to be a little bit bigger, such that you have a bigger region for us to drop our files. I would like to modify whatever it is that we have here into an alpine JS component. And that is what we are going to work with. What I want us to do is to include X data above here. So what I'm going to have here is X data. And then we can be able to have a method. And our method, I want us to call it drag drop. Then we will have script tags below. And inside here, I want us to have a function, and the name of our function is drag drop. And then inside here, I want us to return the values that now we are going to set here. So I want us to just check if our function is working. And what I want us to do is to have a method that we're going to call init, a method that we will use to initialize our alpine component. And I want us to alert initialized just to check if everything is working perfectly. So I will save that. So once we have initialized our data, then we can be able to have that alert. So I refresh and you can see we have initialized. So basically we are able to communicate with whatever it is that we have here. I want us to look at several events that we can be able to listen on our card. So I'm going to have several events. The first event is drag over, the drag over event. So for Alpine, if we want an action, we use X on, and you can also just say at, and then that will be okay. But I want us to look at the first event. So X on drag over, and I want us to set it to a method. So let me just call the method the same name, drag over. And then of course, I want us to have a method down here, which we are going to call drag over. We see that it can be able to be listened to. So once we have dragged anything over our file, I want us to alert something. So maybe we can alert 1, 2, 3 like that. And now what I want us to do, once we have it like that and we have been able to save, I want us to try and see if we can be able to drag a file over our card and see if it will be able to alert that there is something that has been dragged over that card. So I'm just going to open documents where we can find anything. Maybe I will open downloads. Now I pick anything here and just drag it over here. It is not listening to that event. Just add .prevent here, then try again and see. So I will refresh. Now you can see it's being sensed. I think the reason why it was not working was because I had not refreshed. So you can see when you drag a file over, then it's able to notice and we have the alert. So what I'm going to do, we will listen to that, but then you have .prevent because that is what I have added. Then we have another function, which is another event that we are going to listen to is drag leave. So drag X on drag leave, and I'm going to set it to a method drag leave. And even this one, I want us to see if we can be able to listen to it. Obviously, at the end of everything, I will not be using it, but you can be able to listen to the two events and you can be able to change as to whether there is some action on the form or not. So for example, you can be able to change the color from whatever it is that we have. Maybe give it a different border to just show that there is something that is being worked on, if you listen to both of them. So if you have drag over, then you can say there's something that is working on the form. And then if we have drag leave, then now you can set it to the initial state. Basically, you can do that and be able to have that effect. So here we have X on drag leave. I want us to have the method here. And so I'll just put a comma and have another method, drag leave. And we will have it like that. And this one, I want us to alert 4, 5, 6. So something else. The first one we are alerting 1, 2, 3. And then this one we are alerting 4, 5, 6. Really, you can be able to put some text inside there. And I want us to see if we can be able to listen to that one too. So let me comment out this drag over. And then we see if we can be able to see this one alone. So again, I will open our page and refresh. And then again, pick a value, pick a file, then bring and then try to leave. So you can see if we move out of focus, then we have 4, 5, 6. So even that event is also being listened to perfectly. And then the last event that I wanted to talk about is the drop event. So now when we release the file, when we are above the card, when we are hovering over the card, then that event will be triggered. So x on drop, and in this case what we are going to set it to a method called drop. But for this drag leave, I also want us to prevent default like that. So let us attempt to see if this one also will have something. So I want us to just attempt and see. So here I want us to have drop, if we can be able to listen to that drop event. And let me say alert 789, something of that sort. Really nothing meaningful about that. And do we have the drop event above here? Yes, we have it. So let me attempt and see. Refresh our file, and then I believe we have also saved. So I want us to also have .prevent, because if I drop it now, we will have some specific effect. But let me just try that such that you can see the difference. So I will bring a file over and then drop it. Let me comment out what we have below here. So we have 456. This one I want to remove. Then I want us to remain with the last one. So again, refresh, pick our file, bring it over, and drop it. Now you can see 789. So in other words, we've been able to listen to the drop of that file. And I think everything is now okay. I want us to, when we have the drop, we are able to pass in an event. So on the drop function here, I want us to pass in an event. And then inside this method, I want us to listen to that event here. I want us to pass in that event. So I'll just, because on the other side we have passed in the whole name as event, so here I just put it as E. I want us, after we have been able to drop the files, and also before we continue, I want us to add .prevent here, because I believe you saw that once we have dropped the file, then we had a new page or a new tab being opened. So to avoid that, we can say prevent, because if it happens like that, we will have issues. Our drop down will not work perfectly. So here, I want us now to just check if the event, when the event is triggered, if we have any files that are existing. So here I'm going to say if event dot data transfer, and the data transfer, we actually use it when we are having drag and drop. So data transfer, I think I've typed in it incorrectly, dot files dot length. So we are checking the length, we are checking the number of files. If the number of files exceeds 0, so in other words, if the length is more than 0, then it means we have a file that has been dropped there. And what I want us to do, if that is the case, I want us to save. So we can say const, inside a constant, I want us to save a variable called files. And I want these files to be containing the value E. So E for the event that we have here, dot target, dot, not event dot target, event dot data transfer dot files. So those will be our files. And then once that is the case, I want us to go ahead and upload the files. So I want us to call another method which I've not yet created, but I'm going to create after this. So I'm going to create a method called upload. So in alpine.js, you can refer to a method or even a property using this, the same way you just do it in Vue.js. So this, and then our method, I want to call it upload files. And then I want to pass in whatever it is that we have set here, which are the files. So the files that we have here are the ones that I'm passing inside here into the upload function. And I want us to create the upload function here. So we have called it upload files. I think that is what we have here. Yes, it's exactly the same name. And then now inside here is where we are going to upload our files. So after that, I want us to be able to go ahead and upload our files. And what we can be able to do, we will say at this dot upload multiple. And this is found in the Livewire documentation. You can be able to check it out and find what it is that I'm just typing in here. And then we have files. And remember, files is the name of the property that we will set in our Livewire class. We have not yet set files in our Livewire class. And then, so this is the property that we are updating, and we are updating it with values from files, whatever it is that you're passing here. And of course, one more thing, as you're passing it here, you have to receive the files here. So I still have files like that. So you pass it in and then receive the files here. And then after that, we can have a comma, and then we can be able to listen to various events. So after we have that, then we have the success event. So we can say success, like that. And I just want us to use the arrow function. And then here is where we can be able to handle something that we want to do after these files have been set to the property. In this case, the property called files. So here we can be able to do something. After that, we can also handle errors in this case. So we have another handler for error. And then still I will use the arrow function like that. So here we can be able to do something about the errors. And then after that, I also want us to have the last callback, which is event. So we have success, we have error, and then we have the last one, which we are calling event. And this one will be able to assist us to do several things, or to listen to the events, and we can be able to listen to something like upload progress. So what is the progress of the upload? What percentage it is that we have. So if we have a property here that we call upload progress, so let me just have it here, upload progress, and then this we can set an initial value of 0. You have it like that. So after we have it like that, we can be able to change this value and be able to update it. So in this case here, we can say that this we can refer to the upload progress by using that, this upload progress. So we are referring to the property that I have set here. And then we can say is equals to event dot detail dot progress, that way. So upload progress event dot detail dot progress, and then of course now everything will be fine here. Once we hit the success method, you can even have flash messaging that the files have been uploaded. But of course, in this case, for our case, I'm actually just setting the files to the file property, and then the upload we will do afterwards, because I want us to select the files, and then we can also go ahead and look at the files after they have been temporarily uploaded to a temporary folder. And then we can see this one is what we want to upload, and then these others are what we do not want to upload, and then we can be able to choose. So let us go ahead and try it out. But for us to be able to try it out, in fact, let us try it out without me setting the files property in our Livewire class. We see, first of all, if we can be able to be told that that is an error that you have, just sort of some way of checking. So I put those ones here. I have put a file there, and you can see cannot handle the upload with file upload straight. And that is good enough, because the first thing that it tells us is that our request has reached our Livewire class, and now we can be able to go to that side and be able to do some little bit of setup. So let me go scroll upwards, and we go to app Livewire, and inside here I want us to go to drag drop, and above here I want us to have use Livewire with file uploads, that way. So use Livewire with file uploads. And then of course we will use also that trait here. So we can say use with file uploads, with file uploads. I think it is capital. And then I also want us to have public property files like that. And I want to set it to an array, an empty array of values that way. So now I want us to go back and see what we have. And so if we are to pick the files and drop them here, I have picked a single file. Of course, nothing happens. And this is a good thing because at the end of everything, our file is being uploaded and then set to the files property. So I want us to go ahead and do something a little bit more. I want us to have a progress bar below here that will show us the upload of the file from 0% up until 100%. So I will add something on our blade file. So I'm going to scroll downwards up until where we have drag and drop.blade.php. And here, of course, you can remember that we have the upload progress. So this is the one, the values that you will be showing above here. And so what I want us to do is outside the card, once we are done with the card, so I think the card ends where? Ends if we have the closure of this and this, so this is the end of our card, and I can be able to put our progress bar here. Still, you can decide to put it inside the card. I really am not into the issues of design. I just want to show that it's possible for us to show some of these things and then continue like that. So what I want us to have here is a div with a class of progress. And remember, we are working with Bootstrap, but you can just follow. If you are using Tailwind, I know you can be able to know what to do with whatever it is that you're doing. I do not think it will be a very serious issue to adapt whatever it is that we have here for your use case. So I want us to have a class of progress bar, progress -bar, and then we can be able to give it a role of progress bar. And then I want us to have a style here, the one that will control our width, the width of our progress bar. So in this case, I'm going to do data binding. So I bind style. So in this case, it's xbind, but we can use shorthand and just do it like this, as we did xon. So we can also do xbind. But here I want us to just do the shorthand. And then inside here, I want us to have width, and I want to set the value of the width to upload progress. So the width, you pick the value of upload progress, but I want it to also have the percentage sign. So in this case, I can just concatenate our percentage like that. After that, I want us to have the minimum value as 0 and the maximum value as 100. So in this case, we will have area minimum, and then value min, and I will set it to 0. And I want us to have area value max, and I'm going to set it to 100. And then after that, I want us to have the text inside the, as it shows the upload progress, we will also have text inside that to show which percentage specifically. So I want us to have xtext, and xtext is alpine JS, a way in which you can be able to display text inside maybe a div or a paragraph tag or whatever. So you can say xtext, and then you can put the name of the property that you have set. So in this case, what we have set is upload progress. So again, the same thing that we have here, exactly the same thing that we have here. So upload progress, and then still I would want to concatenate the value of the percentage sign. So in this case, like that, and then I will close our div like that. So it will show us the percentage progress. I want us to try and see if that is working as expected. So again, I will go and pick a file. So we have something here that looks like a progress bar. So if I put something here, and now you can see up until 100%, and that is very nice. I want us to go ahead and do this once the files have been uploaded, and in this case it's not uploading for real, it's temporary upload, because that is the way I want to do this implementation. I know that you might want to have it uploaded at once you drop it here, and that one is still doable. Now we will be able to call the upload method that we will have in our Livewire class directly inside our component here. But in this case, let's just go with the way I have designed this. You can be able to go ahead and improve and adapt and be able to use it in your own way. So now let us go and now do the display of the files. And so what I want us to do is, after whatever it is that we have here, after the progress bar, so the progress bar will be above, and below it I want us to have a list group. So I'm going to check the list group in Bootstrap. So I will go to the Bootstrap documentation, and what I want us to do is to search for list group. And I want us to have a list group that can enable us to, an example of a list group that can enable us to have a button inside the list group. So I will just scroll down, and there is a list group that we have below here that has something. So in this case, I wanted to do a delete button here. For example, once you have selected your files and then they have done a temporary upload, you can be able to delete some of them. And then now, after you have the final number of files that you want, you can be able to click on upload to upload all of them at once. So basically that is what I want us to do. So I'm going to copy everything that we have here. Maybe not entirely everything, because we just need, maybe I can copy up until here, and then I will close with the ordered list. So I'm going to paste this one here, and I'm going to close it in such a kind of a fashion. So this is what we will have, and I want us to display this once we have files. So in this case, I will say at files, for each files as file, and then we can have at end for each, and I think it should be inside here, at end for each. It should actually be inside here. So let me just remove this. So we cut and put it inside here. Should it be inside or outside? Really? Let me have it outside. And also this, I can be able to move it outside the ordered list like that. And then inside here, I want us to, where we are having the subheading is where we will have the file name. So this content I will delete, and here is where I want us to have the file name. So in this case, what we will have, the original client name. So what I'm going to have is double curly braces, and then we will have file, and then get client original name, and this is just sort of like the name of the file, the one that is saved with the file. So if you go and maybe look at this file here, it's saved yellow and purple something. So that is the client original name, like that. And here I want us to have a delete button. So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to replace whatever it is that we have in this span with an SVG. So I will go back to bootstrap.com, and I want us to search for an SVG for trashing, or in this case for deleting. So I will just go to this place and then search for trash, and it will give us several things here, and maybe let me choose this one, and I still want to just copy the SVG. So I will copy whatever it is that we have here. Let me just use the clipboard, and then I will paste it exactly where we have that span, and what I want us to do, I want us to listen to when it is clicked. So you have wire click, and what I'm going to do is to remove a file, and this file we can be able to know which exact file that we have if we can be able to check the loop index. So depending with how many files we are having, if we check the loop index, we can be able to get the specific position of that file. But of course, it is important inside our list, we also have the wire key, and also this one I'm going to set its value to the loop index, and that will identify the specific file regardless of whatever it is that happens. So here I'm still going to have loop index, not that way, loop index, like that. So I will save. As you can see, that this remove method, I have not set it in our Livewire class. That is what I want to do in a short while. But I want us to see that if we pick a file and drop it here, now it will be uploaded, and then the file will be here. And then now we have a delete button here, which is not actionable. And of course, when you click on it now, it tells you that the remove method is not there. And that is okay. I want us to go to our Livewire class and then be able to have a way in which we can be able to remove our file. And so what we are going to do is to have public function remove. And in this case, we will be passing in the index. So in this case, the value of the index. And then inside here we can, if we have index, and inside this function we can go ahead and unset the index from this file property that we have here. So in this case I can just use PHP unset, and we can pass in these files. So we are unsetting the value from the files array, and the value which we are unsetting is the value of the specified index, like that. And that you'll be able to do the removal of the file. I want us to try and see if that actually works. So if we go back, I want to pick a file and drop it here, and then it will be displayed. Attempt to click here and see if it will be removed. And it says app Livewire unset. Oh, I have mistyped. It's supposed to be unset, not uset, like that. So let me refresh and try again. So again, we can be able to go ahead and select a file, drop it above here. It is uploaded temporarily. We can click unset and it will be removed. Let us go ahead and see now how maybe we can try and maybe pick several files, not one file. So in this case, I want to pick 3 of them. These files have the same name, so you'll find some similarity. And now you can see all of them are being named number 1. So I think there is something that we need to do to change inside the component here. So we go to drag and drop.blade, and what we are having here is list group, align items, ordered list, like that. Maybe let me just make it an ordered list. Let us just have it being unordered. Try again and drop the files and see. There are some improvements, of course, you can make to the code to make it maybe look better. I want us to continue and see what we can be able to do. And I think there is a probability where we are having the number somewhere. Not able to see it, I will not struggle so much with it because it is not. Maybe we can remove the list group numbered class and then just have it like that. After that, I now we are able to display the files. I want us to go ahead and have a button down here that we will use to submit whatever it is that we have once the files have been uploaded. So once the files have been temporarily uploaded. So what I want us to do is to have another, in this case, a button. So you have button, and I want us to have to give it a name, upload files, and I want us to give it a class of btn success, and I would like to refresh, and now it is here, it is being displayed. And obviously we should probably make it clickable only if, in fact, we can even make it visible if we have files. So in this case we can say at if we can check for the files that they are not that they exist. In this case we can go ahead and check if the files are empty. We can just say they are not empty. So in this case we will only display if the files are not empty. So if not empty, in this case we are passing in files, and then we can say at end if. I want us to try and see if that works. Now our upload files button is not being displayed, but when I put in the files, now our upload files button is visible. I think that one is okay. And then now once we click on it, now we can be able to have a method which I want to call upload files. I do not know if it is a little bit too repetitive, but let me just call it upload file singular, and then we can be able to have it in our Livewire class. So let me have it here. So depending with whatever it is that we have, we can have public function upload file, maybe files, in that way. And then we can be able to also have validation. And so we can say this validate, and inside here we can pass in two things. So in this case I want us to have files, and then we have the value. Since we are validating an array, we can say files, and then we will be checking several things. So in this case we can put star like that, and then we can set our validation. So in this case we want it to be a file, and then maybe we say it is required, and then we can also give the size of each upload. So we can say max 1024, depending, you can set this depending on whatever it is you want. And you can also specify the memes. In this case you can say maybe JPG, PNG, maybe JPEG. So in this case, anything that is not within this range, it will not be uploaded. Of course, you can go ahead and set specific error messages for each of whatever it is that you have here. So in this case, you can come and say that if the error is where we are saying required files, and then the validation attribute. So in this case, like that, and then after that you can state what it is. So if whatever we are validating is the maybe the property memes, in this case, so memes, you can be able to go ahead and set a specific message for that. So you can say the upload must be JPG, JPEG, or PNG, something of that sort. and then that error will be set. So in this case, you can be able to set for each and every of these values. So if the validation error is a file, whatever is being uploaded is not a file, you can be able to have that value here and then set whatever it is that you want to be shown. The reason why we're doing this is when you're working with arrays, the error messages sometimes display in a funny way. But I will leave this to be just like this. I will not do the others. And then after that, once we have the validation, then we can go ahead and upload our files. So what I'm going to say is for each these files, and we are referring to the property that we have above here. So in this case, once we upload the files, they are temporarily stored here. And then, so this is the one that we are referring as these files. Okay, so for these files as file, and then we can go ahead and upload to wherever we want. So in this case, we can say file store, and then we can be able to say where we want this file to store. So for example, we can say in a folder called files, and all of them will be uploaded there. Then of course, we can maybe reset the files. So in this case, we can say this reset files. And then of course, we can also go ahead and alert that the files are uploaded. This JS alert, and we can say files uploaded successfully. So it will just show an alert message. Of course, you can be able to do it in a better way. I think I have overstepped and saved it at a place that is not supposed to be. It's supposed to be inside here. We still am having an error. Now the error is cleared, so I think we are okay. So basically that is how we will be able to upload the files and then also check the validation. So I want to just do something that is not in order, in accordance to the validation that we have here, and then we will check and see. So let me go back to our template, the Livewire blade file. And here I want us, when we click this button, so I want us to have wire click, and then we are going to set the method upload files. And also I want us to have a place here where we can display the validation errors. So eventually I will also handle the input by selection. So I'm going to do that one sometime when we progress a little bit. So I want us to just inside our card. I believe this is inside the card. I want us to display the validation errors, and we can say at errors, and we will check for the errors that involve the files. So in this case, I'm going to say at error, then inside here you're going to say files dot the asterisk, so any errors that involve the files. So we can have at end error like that, and inside here I want us to have a span, and I want this span to have a message because it's just a validation message. And then here we can be able to have the class of text hyphen danger like that. So let me try and upload something that is not an image file. I think we have a problem with our file. So we have at errors, and I think it's supposed to be at error, not at errors. I think that is, should remove this. It should be at error, not at errors, such that we will not have that mistake. So I want to put values that are not images. So like let me try and check with a PDF file. So I will scroll upwards and try with a PDF file. So let us attempt checking with this file. Now it's uploaded and we have the name. When I click upload, now you can see we have the error. So in this case, this file is too big and it says the files, and this is what we were avoiding by trying to do a specific customization of the errors. So this one you should be able to check it. So must not be greater than 1024 kilobytes. So basically that you can be able to handle here. You can be able to handle inside our class, and you can have files.max. So here maybe if we are to copy this downwards, you can do that and say files.max. And that is whatever it is that you're having here, because that is the error that we have gotten. So we can say the upload the upload file size must not exceed 1024 KB, something of that sort. So that can be the error that is thrown. If we check again, I'm not going to do this for all the errors. I think I have given some guidance. So again, I will pick the specific file and drop it in here. And now if we click on upload, again, now you can see now it says the upload file size must not exceed 1024 KB. I think that one is very self-explanatory, and you can be able to do for all the other errors that you may encounter. Now I want us to just try and see if we can be able to upload any files. So I want us to go back to whatever it is that we are having, and then I want to pick now an agreeable file, an image similar to the ones that we had. So I'm going to refresh and then go back here, pick a file, drop it in here. Of course, we have the upload as 100%. Click on upload files. You can see upload file uploaded successfully. That is okay. And also I want to reset, in this case inside our Livewire component, I want us to also be in a position to just check some other scenario where one requires to have the input. So in this case, I want us to have an input here. I want us to have input file, and then class form control, and then I also want us to have it as multiple, like that, and this will enable us to upload multiple files. So we are just handling another scenario, so we will have also an option of choosing the files, several of them, and then uploading them. And I want us to just handle this. I want this input to have a method which we will listen to when there is a change in the file. So in this case, at change, and once we have the values changing, so we will not click on a button for us to be able to upload the files when they have been selected, but we want, if the files change, if we have a change in this input, then we can be able to upload the files. And what I want us to do, I want us to set it to a method called upload selected, like that. And I want us to handle that method here. So of course we were handling drop, and before drop I want to handle upload selected, that method that we have just created right now. So this one we will use to upload the files that have now been selected in our input. So once we have the files selected, what we are going to do is to go ahead and trigger a method that will be able to still upload our files. So what I'm going to have here, I'm going to just check if we have any files, and what we will have, we will just go ahead and upload these files. So what I'm going to do is to just set an event here like that, and then go ahead and use it to upload these files. So what I'm going to have is we will be able to just check if we have any files. So if event dot target dot files dot length, I'm doing something similar to what we have below. So if we have any files, then I want us to set the files again using a similar way. So in this case, I'm going to have a constant, and we are going to call it files, similar to whatever it is that we are having here, such that if we call the method, it will be able to just progress in a similar fashion. So constant files will be given by event dot target dot files, like that, event dot target dot files. And I still want us to call the same method that we have here. So we will call the method called upload files, and still we will pass in the same constant which we are calling files. So under both circumstances, we can be able to handle the file upload. So let me attempt and see if it's still possible also to upload the files by file selection. So I want to choose the files. I want to pick all these files here. Let me begin. I do not know why it's not highlighting. Let me click this one and click shift and click. It's not uploading multiple. What is, have I mistyped something? So here it's supposed to be, in our input, we're supposed to have multiple. Yes, I typed in my own things. That's the reason why. So I'm going to save again and try and select several. So again, I will click and then select from here up until here. Now it's selecting the multiple files. Then I will click there, and now you can see still they are working as expected. Then now if we click upload files, then you can see files uploaded successfully. If we click OK, then we have the files reset. I want us to do one more thing. In order to reset the value back to 0, we can do this in several ways over this progress bar, because you can see once uploaded, then everything remains. So what I'm going to do is to, and also one more thing, also the number of files when we have used the select input, it's still having issues. I want us to correct those two and just see a way in which we can be able to go around them. I want us to have this input of ours having an ID. So in this case, we can say ID, and inside here, we can be able to set a property. So in this case, we can say ID, like that. So then we will set our ID in the Livewire class, such that we will just increment it. Once we do that, that number of files that have been selected will not be visible. So in this case, I want us to have public ID, like that. And we can set an initial value maybe of 1. But I think it won't matter if we are to solve this other issue by doing a reload, then I think it will just be okay. So once we do an alert and we have reset the file, I just want us to do a redirect. So in this case, I can say return redirect. And in this case, we can return this redirect, and we can go to the same method. So in this case, drag hyphen drop URL, and then we can say navigate to, we can set navigate to true. So it will use wire navigate, and it will be able to give just that nice SPF feeling of navigation. So I think we do not need even to set an ID. We can just go ahead and refresh the form. Of course, there are several ways in which you can be able to do that. So this is just one of the ways. So let me save that and attempt and see. I'm going to refresh, and then I will pick files. So again, I'm going to pick several files here. Maybe I want a place where I have several images like this one, and I can drop them here. Everything works fine. Upload. The files are okay, and now you can see we have them reset. I think that will do the trick. One more thing to mention is that once you upload the files temporarily, the files are saved in storage app Livewire temporary folder. You can see this folder here, Livewire TMP. These files are the ones that have been uploaded, but you have not been able to click the upload file. So these ones are files that are sort of like temporary files. You will find if you're working with your application, these files may become too many. And once they become too many, your application will have bottlenecks. So you may find a way in which you can be able to do cleanup of this Livewire TMP directory. So for example, even before you do an upload, you can be able to do a cleanup first and then do the upload. This is the end of this tutorial video. Thank you very much for following up until this point. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up if you like this video. You can comment below if you have a question, and then you can also go ahead and share this content such that it can be able to reach many more other people. Thank you very much.